this activity is still going to be rolling on through. So if you're not under the watch yet, for example, Bradley County, it will with time. I have a feeling this will be extended in a couple of hours or so. But for right now, all of our viewing area under this tornado watch till 11 o'clock Eastern time. Now, again, I'm looking at that main line,
David,
possibly. Yeah.
your mic was already on. I think you actually shut it off.
Oh, there we go. I've got it on. Am I getting no sound? Can people hear me okay out there? Just give me a thumbs up or so.
There we go.
We're on? Okay. We were just doing a quick mic check there. Thanks, Samantha. We're trying to make sure y'all could hear me. Sometimes technology gets in the way. It happens. And we just want to make sure you guys can hear us okay. But here we go. Now back to where we're talking about. The main line, I think between 9 o'clock and 1 a.m. Eastern time. That's with the exception of this individual cell coming in. All modes, severe weather being possible, damaging wind gusts, tornadoes, large hail, everybody, most of our viewing area under that level 3 threat locally. And I'll show you the breakdown real carefully, and then we'll go back to that one cell that we're really, really watching very carefully for areas to the east. Areas to the west, excuse me. All areas locally under this level 3 through tonight. During the overnight hours, it'll gradually move away. So everybody at an elevated, what we call enhanced risk there. And they've expanded the risk of 45 mile an hour wind gust to basically all the way to the state line. So a large part of our viewing area, damaging wind risk being the highest threat level, 30% chance for areas to the east and 15 farther east. So some weakening, but not locally. Locally, this is a big, big threat for damaging wind threat. Now, as far as tornadoes, notice how this area of 10% has grown a bit. This is concerning when you're in this dash line area, okay? This dash line hatched area means a greater than or equal to 10% chance of an EF2 tornado or higher within 25 miles of a point. So it's not everywhere, and it's hard to say exactly where that point will be, but it's still quite significant. And that's a 10% chance overall, but a higher chance in this hatched area. And that takes a large part of our viewing area right along 75 to I-59 and back to the north and west. Other areas, a little bit less, but you're not zero. So all areas locally need to watch this very, very carefully. I'm very concerned about this, okay? Hail risk, as far as large damaging hail, that is also at 15%, pretty high chance there. It is worth noting, and since we're dealing with everyone kind of making plans on, what do you do in case severe storms happen, what's safe, what's not safe, it's worth going over one more time because I want you safe. And still several hours before that main line arrives, okay? But what is safe, what is not safe? Mobile homes are not safe. Cars, not safe. Large open rooms, I'm talking about like gymnasiums, shopping centers, things like that. And top floors of buildings, again, not safe. What is safe? Interior rooms of a well-built home, and it's got to be downstairs. And I'm talking about a hallway, closet, bathroom, interior away from windows. That's a good place to be. If you have a basement or storm shelter, even better, okay? But if you don't have one, downstairs in the interior room, hallway, closet, bathroom, that's where you want to be. Stay away from windows to avoid glass shattering. These are the safest places. These are not the safe places. So if you have a mobile home or live in a mobile home and you wonder where you go, find out where your storm shelters are in your county, your community, and you might want to get there before these storms arrive. Or if you have someone who lives in a sturdier structure, make plans to go there for the evening, okay? Make those plans sooner rather than later so that if a warning's issued, you know exactly what to do, where to go. Again, that main line, we're watching individual storm to our west, but the main line between 9 and 1 Eastern time with all most severe weather possible. All areas now, many areas under this tornado watch until 11 o'clock Eastern time. Some counties not under the watch yet. You will be probably with time. But again, all these counties, tornado watch until 11 a.m. Eastern. We do have one tornado warning. Notice it is the only storm locally at the moment. If I zoom out, you can see where all the storms are. We have that first cluster of storms near Knoxville lifting away. This is the main area we're watching now. You've got individual cells out here. This is a troubling sign. I don't like to see that because when these develop, these can be supercells like this one and can have tornadic activity. The main line is right here. So damaging wind gusts mainly along the line, and the supercells can increase the tornado threat with these. So let's go with this one. This is for western Franklin County. This tornado warning is out until, I believe, 3:15 Central. Excuse me, 3:45 Central. That's for northwestern Franklin County. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. It's moving east at around 30 miles an hour, and it could impact areas, for example, like, let me give some of the county, Tims Ford Lake and Winchester. Tims Ford Lake around 3:20 Central, Winchester around 3:30 Central. Let's take a closer look inside that storm. You can see the structure of it. It's had that what we call kind of kidney bean shape, kind of right in here is where you could see rotation. We're looking at reflectivity. That's just south of Lynchburg, closing in on the county line. You take a look at this from a velocity point of view, and you can see the rotation there. It's almost being skewed a little bit because of noise from the radar site at high top, which is just due to the south of them, but it's right in here. Right in here, you could be seeing rotation within that storm, just south of the Lynchburg area. Right in here. So if we do a quick track on this, and we're going to track from this point in the storm, okay? That movement is to the east at 30. Let me do one more time. I think I clicked it before I got to that speed. My apologies. It'll probably exit this polygon before the expiration of that. I'm sorry. Let me do this one more time. I've got to. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly on that point there. That's better. There we go. There we go. Okay. So here's a timeline. Notice it's all central time. So Winchester, about 3:47, the worst part of that storm, but please note the National Weather Service advisory had you between 3:30, so 3:30, 3:47. If this holds together, it could be near Suwanee around 4:08 Central Time, near the top of the hour. That's if it holds together, okay? Capitol Hill, 3:54, right on the northern part of Franklin County. So there goes. So keep this in mind, folks in Grundy, folks in Marion. If this holds together, that could move closer to you. And we are tracking that live. We will let you know, okay? All other areas locally, not a whole lot going on. We had the storms. In fact, a tornado-warned storm that was up near Knoxville that is now raced away northeast of Knoxville. Let me give a wider view of the radar and illustrate this a little bit better. I'm going to pause it where it is. Okay, so we've had these storms go by north and east. Here's our individual storm there, but it's right. It's kind of a warning shot there about what's happening here. So you got two areas that we're watching. They're very concerning. These right here, these are individual where supercells could develop. Okay, we got to watch this real carefully for the early evening because some of these could have powerful tornadoes with it. When you get back in here with this line, this is the main line. It starts becoming more primary threat of damaging wind gusts. You could have tornadoes along that line where there are line breaks, but this is higher tornado threat. This is higher damaging wind threat. And it's moving east pretty rapidly, okay? So we're going to watch this cell, but then as we get into the early evening after 6 p.m. Eastern towards 7 Eastern, we got to watch this before that main line approaches. So there could be two separate rounds here that I want you to know about, okay? Here's our overall setup. It's a classic severe weather setup. We are in the warm sector with the warm fronts to the north, cold front back here to the west. Here's our powerful area of low pressure, which will be racing northeast with the energy, but there's enough energy there, and especially from the daytime heating, to spark this development and to maintain it. All right, here's a high-res short-range model outlook. So this is going to take us to around 7:15 Eastern. That line to the west, possibly to around I-65 and west. Around 8:30 Eastern. Please note these are Eastern time. So 8:30 Eastern, right along and just west of Crossville to Mount Eagle. 9 o'clock Eastern, right along our plateau counties. And from 9 to 10 Eastern, this rapidly changes. Look at that. 9 to 10 Eastern, it rapidly changes and starts really making that push. And this is where we're really concerned about this, where you could have tornadic development, damaging wind gust. Again, this is right around 10 o'clock Eastern right here. 10 Eastern time. Look how rapidly this moves. By 11:30, watch that fast movement there. 10 to 11:30. Look how rapidly that moves. And then by 1 a.m. Eastern, look how fast it moves away. Almost all the viewing areas have been cleared of the severe threat. So I'm going to back this up again, and we'll go start around 8:30. Now, keep in mind, this is not including any of the early development. There might be some early storm development before that line evolves. We're already seeing that in the areas to our west. And I'll point this out one more time. That is the short-range high-res model based on this line. This line may catch up with this activity, but you got a lot of pre-line development there. So one area, two areas there. And then the one lone cell here we're watching for Franklin County. So again, if we didn't have this, we'd still be several hours away, but this is approaching Franklin, and then we got to watch it for Grundy and Marion as that draws even closer. So again, live radar locally, just looping this. The only cell locally, one approaching southern Jackson. We got this tornado warning cell approaching the northwestern part of Franklin County. And then back here, several tornado warning storms approaching the I-40 area and a few other of these supercells. You got to keep an eye on these back here, northeastern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama. Don't like to see that. And again, it's very hot and humid. It's the bad time of day for these to be happening and approaching us because it's feeding off the peak heating of the day. Unlike Friday night where we had all the storms well after midnight, had time to weaken, and this time it's got the full force of all that. All right, here's a tornado warning update on this cell, still west of Winchester, just south and east of Lynchburg. I'll read you the text of this. This is an update to their warning from before. Tornado warning remains in effect till 3:45 for Moore County and northwestern Franklin County. The severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Lynchburg, moving east at 30. This could be producing tornado and quarter-size hail. Timms Ford Lake around 3:25 Central. Winchester 3:35 Central. Other areas, and I'm reading from their text here, could include Marble Hill, Harmony, and Herdlow. Let's take a look at it from a velocity scan. You can see this is radar reflectivity showing you where the heavy rain is. Estill Springs to right around the county line here with Franklin County. So here's all of Moore County, south of Lynchburg. Possible rotation with it. We'll look at the velocity scan here, and you can see it's just to the south of Lynchburg, right about in here. I'll back it up and slow it down there. You can see right about in here. Potential for some rotation there if there's a tornado with it. So again, it's on the back side of where the reflectivity is. Notice right in here, all this rain and lightning is going on, but the tornadic producing part is back here, at least where it's capable of doing that. Okay? We'll do a quick tracker on that. Got to back it up just a little bit so you can kind of see the visibility. We're going to track the worst part of that cell. I'm zoomed in so close. That's why the cursor has a little bit of time kind of skewing just a little bit. There we go. Okay, here's an approximation again. Winchester 349, but please note it said 335 on the National Weather Service text, so 335 to 349. Suwannee around 411 if that storm holds together. Pelham, which is I believe is in Grundy County, around 417. So neighboring portions of Grundy, Marion, let's keep an eye on that, okay? Let's keep an eye on that. I thank everybody for watching this afternoon. I know it's a busy time, anxious time, and we're here for your safety, folks. That's why we're here doing these updates, and we will be live streaming throughout the night. Please keep in mind that at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock, we'll switch streams. We'll go to our News Channel 9 feed over the air, and of course, those are also streaming at newschannel9.com. So understand you may have to switch your platform there. I should urge you also to please keep your mobile devices plugged in, fully charged, because you could lose power. At the very least, damaging wind gusts could cause power loss, and you need those mobile devices to stay informed. This shows the 3-hour movement of what we're watching. And again, I'm going to pause this one more time. 3 areas we're watching. We're watching the one cell here. Then we've got these clusters of potential supercells here. That's troubling to see because these could have strong tornadoes potentially with them. And then we've got the main line right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, all marching eastward. And it's all in advance of this cold front. Notice the placement of the front is here. The cold front, the line of storms is here. They're outpacing the front. So they're going to be pushed along pretty rapidly to the east-southeast. And then tomorrow, it's all gone. It's going to be a breezy, dry day. But we got a very busy, anxious few hours when we get there. And I'm very concerned with all the energy out there. You know, again, from last night to today, all this area expanded, all of our viewing area under this level 3 risk. And again, just pointing out the risk factors here. 45% chance, highest risk factor of damaging wind. That's with the main line. 30% chance for areas to the east. This is still quite significant area-wide. Tornado risk, again, if you compare this to yesterday, the 10% in hatched area got expanded. So Cleveland, Athens, Inglewood, Decatur, Saudi Daisy, Dayton, Spring City, Pikeville, Dunlap, Tracy City, Jasper, Whitwell, Suwannee, Mount Eagle, all under this hatched area, where there's a heightened tornado risk. Lower chance the farther southeast you go. But please understand that. Make your plans now. Understand your safety plan. Go over it with your family so you'll know exactly where to go should a tornado warning be issued for your community. Large hail risk is also there as well. I should mention that with some very heavy downpours of rain and saturated ground, there's going to be some excessive runoff and flash flooding. So let's, be mindful of that if you live in a flood-prone area. Again, we're watching those individual cells that we already have out there, but the main line, this is just the main line, 9 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. Eastern, very rapidly west to east. As you just saw on all those maps, almost severe weather being possible, damaging wind gusts, tornadoes, and even large hail. You can see all the energy out there. Look at all that. Temperatures are in the low to mid 80s, very high dew point. These temperatures are actually very common for this time of year. It's just not much higher above average. It's just we have very cool air arriving. And so there's a lot of energy with that, the cold air, and the reason why these storms can be quite strong as they roll on through. Again, tornado watch is out till 11 o'clock Eastern for a large part of our viewing area across northwest Georgia, across southeast Tennessee. No, it doesn't include everybody yet. Not everybody yet, okay? But with time, it will expand to these counties along and east of I-75. And we continue to track this one tornado warning storm here. that is right now entering and right on the Moore and Franklin County line. We'll see in a few moments if they do expand this warning. Okay. It would be the National Weather Service in Huntsville issuing that. This, again, is out till 3:45 Eastern. This is a tornado Doppler radar indicated tornado warning out till 3:45 Central, 4:45 Eastern. Velocity scan would show that rotation potentially right on and just east of the county line. You can see it right there. Right there. We zoom in just a little bit more. You got Brownington right here. Here's Hurdlow, and here's Brownington just to the north. Broadview over here, but the potential rotation is right here. Right there. You watch a loop, you can see that a little bit better. That's on that southwestern flank side of the storm, just east of the county line. So if you live in this area within this polygon, let's get to a safe place. It's right there, right over the lake there. So Estill Springs, Winchester, heads up about this one. You might see an expansion of this polygon to include a larger part of Franklin County. You can see the worst part of the storm is right here. All the rain and lightning way in advance of the storm on the northern edge. But the worst part of it's right in here, just east of the county line. So you're looking at reflectivity, and then here's the wind inside of it, showing you what's happening with the storm. And you can see where there's potential rotation with that. Right in there. So again, get you a safe place. If you live at Estill Springs, Winchester, again, here's what's safe and what's not safe. So you understand this again. In these areas, you want to go to an interior room, hallway, closet, bathroom, but it's got to be downstairs, lowest level of the home, not upstairs, not upstairs. Basement storm shelter, good, but make sure you are away from windows. Again, mobile homes are not safe, neither are vehicles. Large open rooms and top floors of buildings. Again, not safe versus safe. So you can go over some of your questions here. Casey, I've not heard of any touchdown on the ground yet. This has been a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. So I've not heard about that yet. That's a good question. We are keeping you updated on that, though. Lena, no. The problem is there's so much energy out here. Lena asked, will storms during the day calm the ones at night? No, this is a lot different than what we had Friday night, where we had storms roll by early evening, which helped take some of the energy out. There's a lot of energy back to our west, a lot of heating, and the only individual storm that's there over Franklin is not going to do much to take out a lot of energy. Hello, the McCaskills from watching in Athens. Hello, Bobby from Cleveland. Thanks for watching. Hello, Candace for watching. Hello, Caitlin from Dunlap. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Angela. Hello, Don. Thanks for watching. So again, locally across most part of our viewing area, not much is happening. It is this cell right here that might have an expanded warning with time. It's still showing that sign of rotation, and still the reason why there is a warning with that. Getting closer to the Estill Springs area. Let me zoom in just from a reflectivity point of view. Center Grove is right here. Here's Highway 41A. Here's Eastbrook, Estill Springs, Center Grove, Brownington right there. So it's just south of Brownington, which could be the worst part of that storm. So Eastbrook, Center Grove, Brownington, all in this warning polygon. Please be aware of that. Get to your safe place so I give you the all clear till that's passed on by. And we're carefully watching that southwestern part of the storm. You can clearly see right here, just to help you out, it's right in here. potential rotation with that cell. And we'll loop it just a bit. You can see right in there. Let my cursor move. There it goes, right there. That's right just south of Brownington. And as we approach 3:31, we're within about 14 minutes of the expiration of this particular warning. You might see an expansion here, whether it be an advisory, other warnings. So I want you to stay heads up, Monteagle, west side of Monteagle from Suwannee. If you're looking back to the west, all these areas along 64, Pelham, Tracy City. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's do a quick tracker again on this cell. And I'm going to track just the worst part of the storm headed to the east. My mouse here's got a quick release there, so let's just do this again. I apologize for having these multiple tracks, but there we go. Moving east at 30. So here's just a rough estimate on the worst part of that southern part of the storm. Suwannee around 4 o'clock Eastern near the top of the hour. Pelham in New Grundy County, 4:18. Summerfield in southern Grundy County around 4:26. And these are all central time. Notice we are at 4:32 Eastern time. So I'll let you digest that for a second. And just to note again, everybody, large part of our viewing area, tornado watch out until 11 o'clock Eastern time. Again, watch is not a warning. Warning means it's imminent. It's happening now, like we're seeing in Franklin County. A watch just means be on the lookout. Conditions are favorable that tornadoes could develop. We certainly hope they don't, but they could. And that's why we're going to be watching this real carefully throughout the nighttime hours, folks. Tracking these for you. There's just so much energy out there. I don't like this setup at all. I don't like the time of day these are coming through. So this is why there's kind of a heightened awareness there with these storms. And to show you again, let's show you the big, broad overview. We've got the one cell we're tracking now. We're going to watch this stuff percolating back in here. These are individual supercells that can be quite dangerous. Already a couple of warnings in the Nashville area. And pop the warnings up there so you can see it a little bit better. A couple of warnings, and then you got the main line. So I'll circle this for you. We've got the one cell we're watching here. Then we've got these individual cells here that could become supercells. They'll probably be absorbed by this line, but here's the main line right here. They'll be approaching later on. So essentially 3 areas we're watching and monitoring. This one, 1, 2, 3. This main line locally about 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. However, if we start getting some of these, it could be an earlier arrival of at least some strong storms ahead of the main line. So we're watching this as it develops and starts to evolve. Let me show you a future track one more time. We'll keep an eye on that cell in western Franklin County. So here's a high-res model just showing you when the main line could approach. So here we go around 8:15 Eastern. Now, it does indicate here's the main line, a few strong storms out ahead of it. It's around 8:15 to 8:30 Eastern time, approaching our plateau counties. Okay, this is not including the cell already out there in Franklin. We know that's there, but around 8:30, things will start really picking up. This is around 10 p.m. Notice again how rather quickly, if you go from 8:30 to 10, that is a really, really rapid development. This is around 10 p.m. Eastern. Individual cells on that line, it may not be exactly placed where they are. We're just kind of estimating Crossville, Chattanooga down to Fort Payne. That's where that line could be. 10 p.m. to 11:30, a rapid movement east from right on 75 to 59 and east. And by 1 a.m., a lot of this is all gone. So really from around 8:30, 9 o'clock to 1 a.m. Eastern, west to east, that's when that line could rapidly move on through. Our in-house future track, similar. It's picking up a little bit more on these individual cells back here. So let's run the timeline at it. 6:45, 9 o'clock is showing a little bit earlier arrival. Again, this could all still fluctuate time. I'm just showing you two different models. That's around 9 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. a little farther east than the high-res model shows. And around 11:30, much faster exiting to the east. But I'm leaning more heavily on the high-res model timeline based on it updates every hour. It's more of a rapid update cycle with that. And so I think it's picking up on these a little bit better. So at 8 o'clock, we'll watch these early developing cells, but then the main line's back here. So between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, so 9 to 10 Eastern, that line could approach and draw closer in a line from Crossville to Pikeville to Dunlap to Chattanooga to Fort Payne. 10 to 11:30, a rapid push south and east. Then by 1 a.m., have moved out. Again, there's our live radar mode at the moment. Again, we are live streaming as we are watching this line of storms, and we'll keep an eye on the ones to the west as well. We will be streaming throughout the evening. I will tell you, though, that in about a little under 20 minutes from now, we'll be going to our newscast on News Channel 9, which you can also stream on your mobile device, newschannel9.com, so be aware of that. Then after our newscast ends at 6:30, 6:45, we'll resume our live stream. So what you'll be jumping across some live streams here and there, but just understand where we'll be moving to. But we're here for you, and you can stay on your mobile device if you want to. I'd urge you again to keep these charged in case you do lose power. There's a high likelihood of that being a potential. And no surprise here, we just had that extension of that tornado warning to now include the eastern part of Franklin County. So here we go. This tornado warning now out for northeastern Franklin County till 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. This is the same storm we've been watching. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Timms Ford Lake or near Winchester, moving east at 35. This is Doppler radar indicated rotation. But the storm itself is moving to the east at 35 miles an hour. And I want to urge you again, heads up for these areas in neighboring Grundy and Marion, Mount Eagle over to Suwannee as this storm moves to the east. So again, this is a extended tornado warning into the northeastern part of Franklin County till 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. And that's moving is just between Estill Springs and Winchester. You can see how large the storm is here, okay? But where we're seeing the rotation is right near Winchester, right down in here. And I'll illustrate a little bit better. We can take the scope and look down in there. It's getting a little bit of noise here from the high top radar site, but you can kind of make out right here where that potential rotation is, right in here, right near Highway 41 in Winchester. Right here. And I'll move the loop. Let's move the loop here just a little bit and kind of see a little bit better. Yeah, right in here. Potential rotation. If there is a tornado, it could be developing there. We'll take a closer look at some of the other communities in here. Deckard, Winchester, Greenhaw, Gum Creek, Capitol Hill, Alto, Suwannee, over to just west of Mount Eagle. All of these communities that you see on the screen under this tornado warning. Okay, you want definitely get to a safe place till this storm passes on by because of the potential that it does have. And at the very least, even if you don't have a tornado with it, it's got the potential for damaging wind gusts, which oftentimes that can mimic or be about the same as tornado damage, those strong wind gusts. But we're right here, right along 41 near Winchester, so heads up in Deckard. And over to about Highway 50, just west of US 64, right along US 41A. They're in the central to western part of Franklin County. Let's do a quick tracker on it for you. I'm going to track the whole leading edge of that cell for you. It's going to look a little odd, like that. I need to expand the map just a little bit. It's going to run out of real estate. Because of that pretty fast movement, I'm really concerned about Marion and Grundy County getting the severe storm moving in. Well, I got to expand it a little bit more. It's got live coverage, people. There we go. That's going to be the one common theme with the storms tonight is they're going to be hauling. I think the ones later on tonight will be moving a lot faster than this. There we go. So if this storm holds together, okay, these are all in Central Time. You're right on the edge there in Deckard, okay? Suwannee, leading edge of that reaching you just before the top of the hour, about 15 minutes away. Tracy City around 4:12, Colmont 4:20. If the storm holds together as far east as Whitwell at 4:36, at 4:36 Central. So we'll keep an eye on that as that moves on along. And that's the only tornado warned storm locally at the moment. All these areas that we mentioned before in western Franklin, we mentioned Brownington, Herdlow, those areas in the clear now. Center Grove, that storm is now past you. But from Winchester to Suwannee, heads up. Get you a safe place. It is still just west of US 64 right here, right along 41A, closing in on the intersection with Tennessee Highway 50. And taking a deep dive into that, you can see just near Winchester. Let's see, we'll pull up a different radar here for a second. Yeah, I'm pulling up the Nashville radar on this. Let's see if it picks it up a little bit better. Yeah, the Nashville radar, just isolating that, shows a little bit better, that rotation just right along Highway 50, 50 and 41. Estill Springs to Winchester, potential rotation right in there. It's kind of more elongated than it was showing. Broad circulation, so this may be at the very least some very strong damaging wind gusts with it. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, some of these winds above the surface have not been too strong there, but again, that's farther away from the radar view. If I was to look at that from the high top radar, it would be a lot stronger. So as you get a lot farther away from the beam, it doesn't depict the wind speeds too easily there. Let's also look at the hail potential with this. I'm going to take the reflectivity off the screen. A lot of lightning along the lake here. I've got the current hail noted. Not in just a little bit. It's not too large, but from Estill Springs to Winchester, it just shows you the presence of a fairly strong updraft. So right in here, some large hail is possible. Okay. Again, you can see right in here, that broad area of potential circulation there. If there is a tornado with it, it's right between 41 and 64. US 64 and US 41A there in Franklin County. And a little bit better view here, right in here, between 64 and 41, between Estill Springs and Winchester, right in here. And this is a tornado warning out, and that's going to be until, let me get the expiration time again. Till 4:30, roughly the next just under 45 minutes. Estill Springs, Suwanee, Winchester, all of this warning till 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. High reflectivity here noted. There probably is some larger hail starting to show up here east of Estill Springs. National Weather Service estimating $50 size possible there. I'm going to show you a broad overview of our viewing area. That's really the only cell at the moment. I know a lot of you are asking questions, and if I'm not mentioning your county, it just means you're in the clear at the moment. We're going to keep an eye on this for neighboring portions of Grundy and Marion, which we'll be doing during our newscast coming up in just over 10 minutes. And to give you an idea of what we're watching for the rest of the night, all right, we got this one lone cell over us now, but starting to pick up kind of a gap here. There are individual supercells developing back here. Some of these could be severe, reaching severe levels, possibly with tornadoes with that. These are supercells in the main line here. This is a line that could arrive locally between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern. These individual cells could arrive ahead of time, like we're seeing here with that one in Franklin County. And all areas locally, tornado watch is out for most of us, with the exception from Ray eastward, from Whitfield eastward. But with time, this will probably get expanded. Just at the moment, this is out till 11 o'clock Eastern time. So I just want to make sure those of you watching know exactly what's going on across our viewing area as we kind of remain isolated on that storm in Franklin County, watching it move on through. Again, pretty intense storm there, right between Estill Springs, US 64 and 41A right here. And you can look at it from a velocity point of view, right in here, broad area of potential circulation. Right in here. And to give you a few more communities, that's just south of Capitol Hill, Asia community, Gum Creek, Green Hog, Gum Creek. So these areas right along 64, some of the strongest winds reaching there. There's reflectivity on top of it, so you can kind of see exactly where that storm is moving right along. Again, this tornado warned storm, Doppler radar indicated tornado warning out till 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. And we're going to keep an eye on this for neighboring portions of Grundy and Marion. Heads up in Pelham, heads up Tracy City, heads up Mount Eagle as this storm draws closer. It is right along just to the west of 64 to Highway 50. Is crossed 41A, but approaching main U.S. Highway 41 from Pelham to Mount Eagle and I-24. It's going on into Coffee County right here. Here's just a rough estimate, okay? If the storm holds together, Suwannee coming up in the next few minutes. Near the top of the hour, Mount Eagle 405, Tracy City 415 Central, Palmer 437. Heads up also Dunlap. If you live in Dunlap in the next hour, we'll see if this storm holds together. Again, all folks, all areas locally need to understand that all modes of severe weather are possible. We're all under that level 3 enhanced risk, all areas locally, every county. Damaging wind gusts, tornadoes, large hail are all going to be possible. Might see these, again, we're watching some individual cells with that main line from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, west to east. And that tornado watch out to at least 11 o'clock. It could be expanded farther east with time. And we're about to break away to our newscast. I want to urge you again, because these storms have this damaging potential, understand what is safe, what is not safe, where you can go, where not to go, okay? We want you safe. Mobile homes, not safe. Vehicles, large open rooms, and top floors of buildings. Top floors of your home, not safe. You need to be downstairs, lowest level of your home, interior room, hallway, closet, bathroom, best place to go. Basement, storm shelter, even better. Just be away from windows. Have this plan for your home so that if a warning is issued, you know exactly where to go, because it takes minutes, seconds, sometimes when you get that warning, that you got to get to your safe place immediately. So again, folks, we're going to show you this tornado warning one more time. We're going to break away from this live stream. We're not breaking away from our coverage. Our coverage is going to continue on News Channel 9 and newschannel9.com as we watch this storm and possible impacts to Marion and Grundy within the 5 p.m. Eastern time hour. But we're going to break away from this live stream and resume on News Channel 9 over the air and newschannel9.com. For you folks in northeastern Franklin, that tornado warning out till 4:30 Eastern. 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern, but heads up in neighboring portions of Grundy and Marion where this warning could get extended. All right, we're going to rejoin you in 5 minutes on News Channel 9 and newschannel9.com streaming there. Join us there as our live streaming coverage continues.